Hi, I'm Michael Beardsley, and today I'm talking about the actors' strike. Last month I did a video on the writers' strike. There are a lot of similarities between the two, so if you haven't watched that video, you might want to check it out. Who is striking? The Actors Union is called SAG-AFTRA, or Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. The members are basically the actors you see on all the TV shows and movies that are produced here in the United States. Who are the actors striking against? The actors are striking against the AMPTP, which is the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers. They are the guys who run the studios. Netflix, Amazon, CBS, Fox, all the networks, all the movie studios. They are the rich guys who make all the decisions. Bob Iger, Jeff Bezos, those type. While they're on strike, what can't an actor do? Well, obviously they can't act in any of the films or TV shows that are produced by those major companies. Now, if it's an indie film, assuming that the makers of that film get permission from the union, they can still act in that. Commercials also are not covered by this, so good news. There's not going to be a delay on commercials. And soap operas actually aren't covered, nor are talk show hosts. However, actors cannot go on talk shows and promote their films. Not to mention, a lot of talk shows are already shut down because of the writers' strike. Although I think actors should go on the talk shows, not promote the films they've acted in, but promote the strike. That would be fantastic. They also can't go to movie premieres, film festivals, or conventions. So, no Comic-Con this year. I'm still going to Comic-Con this year, so if you're going and you see me there, come on over and say hi. And it's not that big of a deal to me because I don't go there to see the actors. They also can't promote their films on social media. That being said, I can still promote mine because it was not done by one of those production companies. So, Hitchhiker Effect, check it out. Facebook, Instagram. How will this affect you? Most stuff was already shut down because of the Writers Guild strike. But now there is nothing shooting because there's no actors. So yeah, your favorite shows and movies that you're looking forward to, if they're not already done, are going to be postponed. They're probably still going to happen. They're just going to happen a little later. What are the actors asking for? What are they asking for that is so unreasonable? Well, there's three major things. The first one, as it always is money. Obviously, an increase because cost of living and all that kind of stuff. But the main part of it is streaming. When the contracts were made for streaming, it was new. It wasn't a big deal. Obviously, since COVID especially, it's become huge. So traditionally, actors get what is called residuals. I've explained this before in other videos, but I know some of you might not have seen my other videos, so I will explain it again. Basically, if a show or a movie is rerun, the actors get more money. But for streaming, because it was a new thing, the amount agreed upon is a very small amount. And it's also hard to figure out what it should be because there's no commercials, so how much are they actually making off of it? It's a subscription base. How do you measure that? Well, I'm going to tell you. You measure that by number of viewers. How many people watched it, how many people are subscribing and like that show. However, those numbers are not public, and they don't want to make them public. Amazon does not want you to know how many people watched Rings of Power. Oh, they'll claim millions upon millions of people that it's a smash hit, but they won't release the real numbers. So the Actors Union, they said, okay, well, let's use a third party to do this. Let's, kind of like the Nielsen's used to be, when people would basically tell the Nielsen company what they're watching, and each person would equal however many thousand people, just, random sample. But no, the producers wouldn't even entertain that idea. They say, oh, those numbers aren't accurate, but we're not going to give you the accurate ones. No, we're just not going to do that. We like the way it is. We like paying a little bit compared to what actors get for network residuals. The second major thing the actors are concerned about is AI. Now, the writers were concerned about AI as well, but in a totally different way. This is the best example I have heard so far. They wanted to be able to hire an extra, a background actor, to come in for a day's work, and they would scan their whole body make a digital version of them, and then they would be able to use that scanned version in the background of any movie from now for eternity. So they're paying an actor one day's work to be able to use their likeness forever. Now that is ridiculous. I used to do extra work when I first came to town. I did it for a couple of years. The first movie I ever did was The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Now imagine, and I know the technology wasn't there back then, but imagine if I had just done that one day. I actually did 5 days on that film, but they had me come in for the first day, and they scanned me, and then they used me for the other 4 days of that, and the other, 80 whatever days I did of extra work on various other programs. And I only got paid for 1 day. And my face was out there in the background. Is that fair? No.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
The third thing is self-tapes. Now this is one that I have seen a lot of people who talk about it online get wrong. Some people won't even mention this one, but those that do have kind of got it a little wrong, at least the ones that I've seen. Now during COVID, because people were encouraged to not go out in public and mingle and gather, auditions were done differently. They would send the actor the pages, and we would record them at home, and we would send them to the casting director, and then they would cast like that. Obviously the overhead is much cheaper. And for actors, it's a mixed bag. It is nice to actually meet the casting director and be able to get redirection, but at the same time, it's also nice not to sit in traffic and drive across Los Angeles to go to an audition. So most actors I know actually don't mind this that much. And we're not asking to end self-tapes. Let's be honest, that genie is not going back in the bottle at this point. So that is not what we're asking for, and I've heard some people online say that's what we're asking for. We're asking for some rules involving self-tapes. Issue number 1. If a casting director has to see people live in an office, they can only schedule a certain number of people due to time, right? But if they're asking for video auditions, they can ask for a lot more. Like 10 times as many. Who knows how many? They could just ask everyone for one. But are they really watching all of them? My sources say no. So we're putting the work in, and we're not even being seen. That's an issue. Issue number 2, they're asking for too much. Now I haven't experienced this one personally, but I know people who have. They're asking, in some cases, for like an actor to record 15 pages of a script. That's a lot of recording. If you go into an audition, usually it's like a few pages. And they should be able to know if you're right for the role within that. And there'll be another audition later on if it's a bigger role, and then they can get a better feel for it. 15 pages is too much. That is a lot of work for the actor to do, and they would never do that in person, again, because of time. They don't have time to see every actor that comes in do 15 pages. And again, are they actually watching the entire audition? Again, my sources say no. Issue 3, kind of related to the last issue, but a little different, but again, asking for too much. Now, the little thing that I have experienced is so many of these auditions will ask for a full body slate.
Hi, I'm Michael Beardsley. I am 6 feet tall. I am over 18 years old, thank you for asking, and I am located in Los Angeles.
And this is my full body slate.
This is my audition space. I can have a blue or I can have a gray background, but this is it. I am sitting. I can't really stand up. So if they ask me for a full body slate, I have to go to my kitchen and record it there. And I have to do a whole different setup, and then I have to edit it in. And it's a pain. And that's a minor example. There have been cases when they basically want you to shoot the whole scene in your apartment. Too much work for an actor to do. What happened with the negotiations? The contract actually ended at the end of June. But SAG-AFTRA decided to extend it 2 weeks out of good faith to negotiate with the producers. And then the producers had nothing new to offer. It was very obvious that they just tricked the union into extending it because they don't want those actors on the picket lines with the writers. There are a lot of actors, and also the actors are much higher profile. So yeah, they got duped, and now they're claiming like, oh, the actors walked away, we're very disappointed. No, you're disappointed that you couldn't trick them for another 2 weeks. I mean, come on. People aren't that stupid. And the producers are saying some pretty outrageous things. Oh, and the funniest thing is they claimed that they had made the actors a groundbreaking offer that they walked away from. Groundbreaking. Apparently it was the same thing, a few weeks ago, the Directors Guild actually settled with the producers, and they did sign a contract. And obviously they gave them a little more in terms of residuals and streaming, not a whole lot more. The directors are notorious for taking deals when the other unions won't. They're different unions. Hey, if it works for them, that's fantastic. It's not going to work for the actors. It's not going to work for the writers. By groundbreaking, I can only assume that they meant that a crack was going to open up in the earth and we were all going to fall into it, because that's the only groundbreaking offer I heard about. When will the strike end? Well, that's the big question. I don't think there'll even be any negotiations until August, and who knows after that. We're pretty far apart. That being said, the producers can't win here in the long run, because unless they're not going to make movies anymore, they have to have actors. Writers, there are some ways around that, not good ways, but actors, all your name actors are in support of the strike, and it's not about them. I mean, sure, they'll benefit a little bit, but they're already making so much money. It's about the actors who you don't know, the 99% of actors whose names you don't know, like me. I'm given a little hope based on what I saw when I went to picket on Friday, the first day the actors were officially striking. I've been striking in support of the writers throughout, but there were 10 times as many people there. There were so many actors striking on the picket line. They ran out of signs. All the studios had those kind of crowds. And the public in general seems to be more supportive of the actors than they are of the writers. The bottom line is, we all just want to make good content. The producers want good content to make money off of. I don't think they care what the content is, honestly. And I want to make good content because I just want to get myself out there. I want people to see me and put me in other projects. I want to work. And also, I want to make good content because I like watching good content. In any case, let's just hope this whole thing comes to an end real soon. Speaking of coming to an end real soon, that just about does it for this video. So, be sure to watch my other videos, especially the one on the Writers Guild strike. Subscribe to my channel, leave me some comments, give me some thumbs ups. Check out my Patreon. It's groundbreaking. Very, very popular. If you don't go there, you're going to feel left out. And until next time.